The following program contains the opinions of the host, guests, and call-in participants. These do not necessarily represent the views of this show's distributors or sponsors. This program may contain obscene, profane, or otherwise objectionable language. Viewer discretion is advised. Howdy, hello, everybody. Coming to you cordless from Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's Wednesday night, October 15th, 2025. Get it out, Jim. You can do it. Welcome to I'm Jim Peters. Okay, that was really sad. I was a professional once. All right, and this is Jim Peters tonight, and this is show number 283. And I told you, last Thursday we are gonna have a test. We're not gonna. There's never gonna be any fucking test. Who are we fooling? So anyway, so let me tell you about my weekend. So we did our birthday show on Thursday night. On Friday I turned 70. I want to thank you folks for calling in. We had calls all night long. It was great. It was great fun. And Conaway showed up without a shirt on. I don't know what that was about. And apparently that's a theme on this show. I don't know. But anyway, so that was Thursday night. Friday morning, the missus and I took off for vacation to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And we had a fantastic time over a long weekend. And we came back on Monday, and literally in the car on the drive back, I came down with the flu. So now we were scheduled to take Monday and Tuesday off anyway because of travel. And so we haven't actually missed a show. But tonight, Larry Newman is supposed to be here, and we started a minute late because he hasn't shown up yet. But I've talked to him. He says he's coming. So I don't know. We'll see. So we're not going to have a very long show tonight. I'm still kind of recovering and getting my crap together. Tomorrow night, let me tell you what's going on here in the next couple of weeks here. Oh, we got a lot of shit. We got it going on. You know that. Okay, Boomer. Tomorrow night, William Jasper is going to be here, and he's the president. Let me get this. He's the president of the John Birch Society. Now, we've had Wayne Morrow on. He's the CEO of the John Birch Society, we'll find out from William who outranks who here. I have no idea. And Bill is also the editor of the New American magazine that's put out by the John Birch Society. That's tomorrow. We don't do Fridays here. Now, I have to be honest, we were a little, I can't even remember. I think we ran a rerun last Friday, but we didn't on Monday or Tuesday because I couldn't get my shit together. That's the reason. So Monday, Scott Walters returning. He's written the book called Arabella on the Arabella Associates, which is the largest funder of Democratic politics in the United States. And this is going to be very prescient. He's been on once before. He was on about 6-8 weeks ago. Bill Gates has announced he was no longer giving money to this organization. And I don't know if you know this, Bill Gates has a shitload of money. So that probably means something. It appears, and it's really interesting. I don't know if it's because of Scott's book, but I had never heard of this organization, and basically nobody else had either until his book came out around. And I think his book came out in June, if I'm right. And all of a sudden, reporters started reporting on it. I started seeing it in the mainstream news. So anyway, this is going to be really interesting talking to him again. We're talking to him again Tuesday. Corinne Clifford's going to be here. She's a member of the White House Press Corps, and she's the official spokesperson for sat123.com. And I have to be upfront here. I think sat123.com is paying for her publicity. We don't pay guests, and they don't pay us. But I think that she is. They're actually paying for her publicist, I think. But we'll find out. And I just want to be upfront about that. We're going to talk to her about the Katie Porter situation in California, running for governor. And I called this woman. I called her on Thursday. I called her an unmitigated bitch, and I'm sticking with that. Sorry, it's like I don't know where we get these people. And the thing is, it's not just a Democratic problem. It isn't. We get all these people who are complete, utter personal losers in government. And the reason is because it's the only place they can get any power to speak of. And that's the reason they run. That's the reason they're interested. They have no actual talent to actually do anything. They can't actually do it. J.B. Pritzker, the reason he's governor of Illinois is because his family has billions of dollars. That's the reason. Has he done anything? No. Did he do anything with his life before he's governor? No. No. It's just unbelievable. Anyway, I think Katie falls into this category, and I'm not afraid to say it. And yeah, no, there's there's Republicans too. Hell, George W. Bush. I mean, if George W. Bush's father was not president, you would never have heard of him ever. So, okay, so she's coming on Tuesday. That's Corinne Clifford. Wednesday, Leslie Corbley is going to be back. This woman, I found her absolutely delightful. She's an attorney and an author and a poet, and she has a book coming out the previous day. Her book coming out on Tuesday. She's coming on here on Wednesday. The book is called Progressive Prejudice: Exposing the Devouring Mother. And basically, as far as I can tell from the publicity sent out on this, the book is basically about liberal Democratic women and what's wrong with them. So this woman, she's just absolutely delightful. I didn't know what to think. And she's a right-wing poet, and you don't see a lot of right-wing poets, do you? And I can't remember, was at the Texas Bar Association or something. They offered for her to get up and read a poem of her creation, and she read a poem that was basically about pro-abortion, and they weren't expecting that. She said she almost got kicked out of the bar. And I don't know, she's just a fascinating woman. You want to listen to this. This is very cool. And we have someone on Thursday. I can't announce it yet because we haven't confirmed it. That's next week. Halloween is Friday the 31st. We don't do shows on Friday, and I'm still trying to decide if we want to do a Halloween show on Thursday. I got to talk to the gang, see if anyone wants to come on. We did one the first year we were on, which was hugely successful. We all dressed up, and so we'll find out. Now I got some announcements to make here too. Oh man, this is gonna be tough. If I have to do a show without any Larry, man, this is tough. I mean, I was gonna tell you we were gonna cut this early. That basically there was gonna be no Gymcast tonight. I was gonna talk to Larry and get it over with. But at any rate, and Larry isn't here yet. So my announcement. We went on TikTok, started posting shorts on TikTok about 2-3 weeks ago. It's exploded. I'm astonished we went in 5 days from about 40 followers to over 1,200. I'm not kidding. In 5 days, we put up shorts. They're getting thousands of views, and maybe it's because of the number we're putting up. We're putting up about 2 a day, 2 or 3, and so I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I don't know if it's just, I was just reading an article just this afternoon about the fact that serious news organizations are starting to take TikTok seriously because, well, first of all, a quarter of the American population's on there. That's one thing. It's like, 100, 80, what is it, 80 million people or something like that? It's unbelievable. And also TikTok, now we know it's going to stick around. The government is going to, and I have to admit, I poo-pooed this thing. I got on TikTok. I've told this story many times when I worked at Calling News. Jim, the CEO, Jeff Meyer, said, Jim, get on TikTok. This is about 2021 and see if we want to do that. And I was appalled. I got to admit, I was absolutely appalled. Most of TikTok is complete, utter crap. But the amazing thing is, unlike every other social media network, it's like the algorithm is not tuned to promote stuff that's already popular. I mean, I'll just give you another example. We got off of Facebook again a couple of weeks ago. I decided I didn't want to put up with this shit anymore. It's just Facebook banned us 2 years ago. We were off for a year, and then they didn't really say you can come back, but it's like the ban was off. But the thing is, the problem with Facebook is basically if you want to get noticed, you have to pay. That's basically what it is. And guess what, folks? I'm not rolling in the bucks. I don't know if you know that. Figure that out. But on TikTok, I've posted shorts on TikTok that have thousands of views. And the other thing is, we post a short and within an hour, 200 people have watched it. I don't. I'm having a hard time wrapping my mind around these figures. And I've been in social media. I've worked in social media as an administrator. I understand how this stuff works. It's really amazing. So anyway, we're going to start doing a TikTok only show or exclusive show to TikTok on Sunday night. Right now, we're scheduled for Sunday night, November 2nd. We're gonna do our first. We're gonna do the most Sundays. And we might even expand to Fridays too. I don't know. We'll see. That's going to be a show that's just on TikTok. Now, if you know anything about TikTok, you can't do a live show for that's over an hour. And so that's what we'll do. We'll do an hour. And we're also breaking down this show. So you won't. We're not doing this show live on TikTok because it's too long, and I have no idea where it's going to cut. But we are going to now. We're uploading our interviews separately, and also we're going to upload the Gymcast separately. So there's basically three parts to the show. I do a short introduction, like this one, 10, 12 minutes. But God, I can prattle on. It's unbelievable. And then we have an interview. It's usually about 30 to 40 minutes long. And then I do what I call the Gymcast, which is a kind of sort of a news report, but I talk about on the news you've never heard of before, and you probably haven't. I mean, this is not like, oh, you got stuff on my guess is 90% of the stuff I mentioned on the Gymcast you probably never heard of, even in the mainstream media anywhere. So I spent a lot of time looking this stuff up from a lot of sources. So but now we're gonna upload the interview separately and the Gymcast separately, so you can watch either or both or none. You can just watch the shorts. Everything will be on YouTube. Everything we do, and including this live show, which we're going to continue to do, is going to be on YouTube. And also, we do the live show on Rumble. Unfortunately, the way Rumble's set up, that's the only thing you can see there: the live shows and the archives of them. But we're gonna, yeah, and so we're on YouTube, Rumble, TikTok, and X. We're also on Twitch, but I'm kind of not paying any attention to Twitch because I got my hands full, and it's not there. That it's mostly a gaming platform. But you can see us on Twitch too. But we're not. At some point, maybe we'll start posting the shorts on Twitch too. I don't know. Those are the primary places you can see us. We have a page on our blog at gymatnight.com that explains this. And that page is going to be updated in the next few days to explain at least new stuff we got going on. So, yeah, November 2nd, we're going to be promoting the hell out of this, our show, TikTok only. And I don't know what time it's going to be yet. I'm thinking maybe 9 p.m. Eastern or 10 p.m. Eastern. I don't know. Joe Peggs, the radio personality, he does a show, I think at 11 p.m. Eastern, and I don't want to compete with him. We're kind of similar in our approach, and he has way more people than I do, followers. So all right, so Larry's not here. Larry's not showing up. So let's. I'm going to just go straight to stuff that I have collected, which I was going to do tomorrow. But what the heck? Bill Jasper's going to be here. We'll talk to him. So I don't know if you know this. MSNBC is now no longer part of NBC News. They've been spun off into a separate company called Versant, and with that spinoff, they're now no longer getting news from NBC News. They're from this point forward, they're going to get their news from Sky News in Britain. Pardon me. And that's not a syndication deal. It's not a partnership. In other words, MSNBC shows are not going to be on Sky News. They're just getting news from Sky News. Got it? All right. And they've been changing their name to MS Now. Okay, fine. And all this is going to be done by the end of the year. But people are saying it's like they are so entwined with NBC News in their minds, the people that work there, that people are going to say this is going to be a disaster, that they won't know how to do it. Now, the only real show they have only two shows that have any real consequence. Rachel Maddow's show, which she only does on Mondays. She used to do it 5 days a week. Now it's once a week. She gets paid. I'm not kidding. She gets paid $25 million to do one show a week and a podcast. I think the podcast might be daily. I'm not sure. But the podcast, if I'm right, is audio only. So she gets paid $25 million to do that. Go figure. And then the married couple on in the morning on morning show. Those are the only two shows that have of any real consequence. And morning show is losing viewers hand over fist. So because apparently the leftists who watch MSNBC, MS Now, really, really got mad at Mika and Joe for going and meeting with the president, and they've never forgiven them. So, but I would like to point out he is the president. Yeah, okay. I know you don't like that. I know, but it's like this thing came up today. Now I'm bouncing around here, but about the fact that there's been reports going on in the mainstream media, the leftist media, of course, they need something to complain about. So they're complaining about posts made by a young members of a young Republican federation online. And these posts may have been private, I'm not sure, but somehow they got out about basically they're extremely right wing, and they were legitimately hateful, and they were. And they're trying to say about how awful this is, and this is awful. But here's the problem: you can go on Twitter X any time of the day or night and read thousands of the same thing. The problem isn't these. It's not the problem. The problem is that these kids have offensive opinions, and they are. I'll admit what I've seen is pretty damn offensive, but they have no power. This guy John Jay, who's running for Attorney General of Virginia, he's talking about killing his opponent and his family. He literally didn't even joke about that. He was serious in a bunch of tweets, and he's running for Attorney General. That's the difference. You got a bunch of punk 19-year-old ass kids, talking about Hitler. Okay, fine. That's bullshit. I agree. It is. But you got a guy now talking about killing his opponent. And they're trying to that there's some moral equivalency to this. I don't think so. I don't think there is. Oh man. So what else we got? See, I'm not going to be able to do this for very long. I gotta be honest with you because my voice is going to give out. I was pretty sick the last couple days, uh, flu, and you can probably tell too. And I don't even look that good. I look at myself on the monitor. I look a little strained. Yeah. Oh, well, I was going to talk to Larry about this, so I'm going to talk to you about it. President Trump's approval ratings have not gone down at all. He's at about 45% approval rating, which is like pointed out at this time in both Barack Obama's second term and George W. Bush's second term, he's higher than that. Now, here's the reason I brought this up is here's the dirty little secret that you've never figured out because the press wouldn't tell you, and that is during the entirety of Barack Obama's 8 years as president, his approval ratings were never that good. They never were. And the press, of course, glossed that over because they think he's a god. They do. So that's figured right now. Trump's ratings are higher than what Obama's were at this point in his second term, and same with W. But W lost his after Katrina. His ratings went down and never recovered, and he ended up leaving office as the second least most popular president in American history. Harry Truman beat him. I think, if I'm right, W's rating was 20%, and Harry Truman was 24%. The interesting thing about that is that Truman's reputation has recovered greatly since he was president. I mean, he's now considered well above average, but he left offices. Well, and that was when they started to do this polling. They weren't doing it before then. So, but W did not rate well, and I don't think history is going to be very kind to W either. I don't. Brock is an interesting character. He's extremely intellectually gifted. That's a good way for it. I was going to say intelligent, but that's not. I don't want to. I'm not going to use that word because that encompasses a lot of things like emotional intelligence And Brock is deficient in that area, but he's intellectually gifted. There's no doubt about it. He's also probably, arguably, the single best communicator who's ever held the office. And when I mean communicator, I'm also differentiating that from orator. Uh, and you say, what about Reagan? Okay, Reagan was a fantastic orator, easily one of the best in terms of actually giving speeches. When it comes to communicating to the public in terms of actual conversation, he was just okay. But Barack is the opposite. Barack was fantastic at communicating the public. Bill Clinton was too. And Bill, it's the same thing. I don't know if maybe these two talents don't go together. Bill Clinton was only an okay orator, but however, he did say a few things that did end up making hitting the lexicon. The most thing I can think of off the top of my head is that there's nothing wrong with America that can be fixed with what's right with America. He said that. Now you think about this: in the entire time Barack Obama's been in public, he's never in public office. He's never said a single thing that's actually resonated iconically throughout the culture. He never has. The closest he ever came was that speech he gave on race before he was actually elected president during the 2008 campaign. But the thing is, I don't remember any quotes out of that either. That's the closest he ever came. He was not a he was not a good orator at all, but he was a great communicator. I mean, he's fantastic on his feet. He's the epitome of a statesman. Now, talent, no talent. The thing is, when I say talent, I'm talking about the ability to execute and get things done. Now, this is the problem with most of the people who ascend to the presidency, and hell, even the people who ascend to governorships in the United States, the executive positions. Most of these people are incompetent. They can't actually move the needle. An example of an exception would be Ron DeSantis. Now, I don't know if Ron DeSantis would make a good president, but he seems to have a real knack for manipulating the bureaucracy. He does. And for that reason, I would definitely give him a shot for sure because he seems like he has that talent. And president since Reagan, the only two people I can think of that had that talent were Clinton and Trump. That's it. To actually be disruptive and get something done. Uh, but Barack didn't accomplish anything of any substance, and everybody pretty much knows that too. Michael Moore said that the only thing that Barack Obama will be famous for, known for in history, is being the first black president. He didn't do anything of any substance, and I talked to my liberal friends, and they seem to kind of acknowledge that. That he never. So he wasn't bad. He didn't do anything terrible, and also he stewarded the economy in a reasonable manner, but nothing brilliant, nothing breakthrough. Nothing. I mean, one of the reasons Trump did so well with the economy is because you could say that Barack laid the groundwork for it, but the problem was Barack. It was just middling. It wasn't in the dumper the way it is the second time, and when no matter what the Democrats say, the economy was in a really bad way. And it's pretty obvious now because it turned out all the employment figures we got for at least the last year of Biden's presidency were bogus. And this is a problem. So the question becomes, did they actually politicize the statistics, the Bureau of Labor Statistics? Did they? Because that stuff's all been revised. It turns out that there were 1 million less jobs created, actually 900,000, 950,000 during Biden's last year than they advertised. 1 million. They were off by 1 million. So, at any rate, what was my point there? I was talking about Barack's approval rating and Trump's. So Trump's hasn't moved. Now, another survey came out just this weekend, Rasmussen. Rasmussen has been historically for the last 5-6 years one of the 2 or 3 more accurate pollsters, and they said that basically you're seeing all. Excuse me. You're seeing all these uh, protests about all this ICE movement in major cities, but right now, a slim majority of Americans. It depends. It's the polling margin of error was 3%. It depends on the exact question they asked, but it's about 55% of the American public not only supports ICE, this is the thing I find amazing. They supported they support deporting all illegal immigrants, whether they've been in good standing in the United States or not. That's 55%. It's 55-45 basically on all these questions. Now, the other thing is, and since Trump took office in January, basically every single major issue they've polled about, Trump is going to come down on the side of the public. And the only real exception, believe it or not, is the Gulf of America thing. That's the only thing the public has disagreed with him about. So every other, so I mean, they got a problem here. They're protesting. I mean, and we've talked about this on the program before with guests. What they're trying to do is they're trying to convince the American public through the lamestream media that they control that have the majority position here, and they don't. They do not, and that's been shown over and over again. All the polling has come down to the fact that the majority of the public supports deporting illegal immigrants of any standing, criminal or not. So it's really, I don't know, that's going to be really interesting. The other thing that happened this weekend, another poll about the fact that the majority of young liberal people, this is people under 50, I'm sorry, under 30 in the United States who identify as liberal, the majority of them support violence to stop deportations. Yeah, that's great. That's terrific. That's all we need. We need some more violence. That sounds good. Oh man. All right, look, I got a problem here. I'm gonna bail. I'm not feeling good, and I did not expect. I thought Larry was going to be here, and Larry's really good at talking, so I thought he would carry most of this. So I'm gonna end with two things here, and I'll preview this for tomorrow night's Gymcast. There's we talk about a lot of UFO shit here. There's a, a whistleblower who says that in the Amazon jungle, he saw one of these giant triangular spacecraft, Aeroflot, whatever you want to call it, land in the jungle and outload American military equipment. Now, here's the interesting thing about this here. He saw no extraterrestrials, nothing that looked weird. It was humans in American military uniforms, and he said that him and a partner of his, they thought they were going to be killed by American military guys because they saw this. They were caught, and they weren't trying to watch this. And this guy's in the military himself. He just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, and they caught them. And he said they let us go, but he said I actually thought they were going to kill us on the spot. But the weird thing is that there was this giant triangular spacecraft, and like I said, there's no extraterrestrials involved. Ergo, does that belong to us? Now, that's the thing I'm going to talk about tomorrow because there's a lot of reports. Excuse me. There's more and more people coming forward saying that we have these things. They're not extraterrestrial. They belong to us. There's a report that, and I've seen this in the press, Stephen Greer, the ufologist, he says that he knows for a fact, he says, because of people who work for him, who are in the military, he says he knows for a fact that the U.S. military cracked anti-gravity propulsion in 1954. And according to the timeline that I've seen, by 1980 or 81, we had these large triangular spacecraft that basically run off anti-gravity propulsion. I have a problem with this. I've said this before on the show too. My problem is that I don't think we had enough computing power to run one of these things in 1980. Because so now, do you know how a drone works? Even the stupid drone, $50 drone you buy at Target, there's 4 propellers, and the reason it can fly is because the propellers all independently go different ways at different speeds so that they can go in different directions. Okay, so I have no idea how many there are. There's probably 6 or 8 common operating systems for drones that people just buy off the shelf and plug them in. And the reason your drone is so cheap is because they're selling them for the operating systems now, not the drones. They sell them for $10 a pop. And you may say, well, okay, fine. But the thing is, even now in basic crap in the 21st century, in 2025. That's simple to us, but that would have been very, very difficult to do in 1980. Very difficult. I mean, I had my first personal computer in 1989. It barely freaking ran. I mean, we didn't, we don't, even the government, even the military did not have huge computers in 1980. Well, they did based on the populace, but not on contemporary standards by any means. I don't think we had enough computing power to run something like that in 1980 or 1981. But this bears repeating in his public, I guess it was his public diary that Reagan kept while he was president. And you can go to Barnes and Noble and read this. I did. I literally went to the bookstore and read it. I didn't buy the book. In October of 1981, he said he was briefed. This is his personal journal now. He was briefed on UFO issues, and he was told by the people at the Pentagon that we had a spacecraft that could hold 300 people. And at that time, the largest public spacecraft anybody was aware of was Skylab, and it held 8 people. And this has always been rumored. It's been called the 3R TR3B. Then there's 2 versions of it apparently. One holds 300 people, and basically the other's double in size. It holds 600 people. Like I said, I don't know if I buy this. I don't. Based on what I know about how technology works, I don't know if this is possible. But at any rate, so this guy, getting back to the original story here, this guy in the Amazon jungle, he's working for the military, and he sees this thing land and unload vehicles and equipment. And he said, no, it's all American stuff. And all the people involved are humans. He doesn't see any ETs at all. And then his life is threatened by a bunch of military guys who got off the quote unquote boat. So anyway, we're going to talk about that tomorrow more. And then the other thing I want to leave you with here, which is because I'm just a freaking pervert goofball. There's a woman on OnlyFans who makes $200 a pop selling videos of her farting. now, do I need to point this out on OnlyFans? You can't smell farting. It's just videos and sound, of course, of her farting. That's how she makes a living doing this. Yeah, okay. All right, fine. How come I didn't think of that? I could do that. You have no idea. All right, okay. Larry didn't show up. So anyway, this is abbreviated here. We're going to stop this because I can't talk anymore. So I want to thank you first for watching. I guess we did a little bit of a Gymcast, I guess. So we'll post this or something. I don't know what's going to happen. I have no idea. Tomorrow night, Bill Jasper, the president of the John Birch Society. And Larry got to go to hell. No, I love Larry. I love Larry to death. I don't mean that at all. Good night, Uncle Donnie, wherever you are. And good night to you, wherever you may be. We'll see you tomorrow night, everybody. Take care. Thanks.